Welcome to our reading for Monday the 21st of November 2016. Remember, it's a general reading, so see what feels right for you. See which signs, symbols, bells, whistles, messages, energies resonate for you and bring you clarity to what you're wondering, concerned, confused, inquiring, dreaming, and praying about. We're all children of God. We're all psychic. We're not all going through the same thing at the same time, at the same pace. So see what feels right for you. It could be one sign, and that brings you clarity. It could be the whole reading. It could make sense later. In the end, always use your logic and intuition together to make sound decisions based in love for the highest and greatest good of everybody. So we're all uplifted in love. See how it feels for you. How you ride these energetic waves that come through here is always up to you. Is it your wave? Is it not your wave? Are you waiting for another wave? Preparing for that wave? Crashing into the wave? Riding the wave? Or ignoring the wave? Also, feel free to make this an interactive video with me if you want to pull some cards for yourself. And if you have some time, try to check out the links below, enjoy the music, show your love and appreciation to the artists and musicians, and see if there's more depth in the lyrics or signs in the videos for you. Clarity for this reading that connect to you personally for Monday the 21st in any of those links below. I also want to say thank you for being patient as I upload the rest of the late November astrological readings. I've noticed a couple awkward. I want to let you know that if you get an awkward intro, I haven't seen them all yet, but I know so far I think Libra and Sagittarius have a little bit of an awkward intro. You have an intro that I think it was the raw take and not the one that was supposed to be at the beginning. So sometimes things, you know, go awry, and it's how we roll with that and just, you know, sort of make light of things that go wrong and do it better the next time. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me if you are new, and welcome to the reading. I'll see you in a moment, guys. Welcome to our reading for Monday the 21st of November 2016. We're going to start with the Sun and Moon Tarot, and let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, our higher self, angels and energies of love have for the highest and greatest good of all for clarity and focus on the energies around Monday and wisdom to ride these energies best for the highest and greatest good of all. Let's start with one card. Monday the 21st. And that's art, temperance, divine timing, being patient, finding a middle ground, making something difficult look easy, putting a lot of effort into something and getting it to flow, working with the kinks, working with opposite energies, fire and water, and then you have the earth and the air, you know, so finding that central point. I always feel like when temperance comes up, it's divine. It's your guardian angels. It's God looking out for you. It's allowing you a point of patience and a point of growth. Like, I think of a tree, you know, having deep roots into the ground, you know, the rings on the trunk and the seasons and the changes and the growth that comes with all of that. Working with the elements of nature, working with big energies and making it, like, I see, like, run smoothly. Sticking your foot in the water of emotion to test things out. Is it too hot? Is it too cold? You know, are you moving too fast? Do you need to slow things up? Finding real balance in masculine and feminine, yin and yang, you know. I hear music, but I think of the right and left hemisphere of the brain doing something creative and logical, mathematical, like being really in the now, like meditation. So perhaps there's patience, you know, maybe you've spent a lot of time or energy into something and it's not here yet. It's telling you it's worth waiting for. It's worth being patient. It's worth sticking your foot in the moment that you have now and getting grounded on the earth that's around you now and thinking clearly with the thoughts that you have now, having consciousness with where you are now, thinking with your heart as well now. And I want to say the fire in your soul to get yourself moving, but at the right pace for you. You know, it's feeling out your surroundings and understanding how it feels inside of you and making that connection for you. There's a release and a control here, if that makes sense. You know, you're doing opposite energies. So you have to let things happen, but you have control over how you react and how you move with those energies, with those waves. Yeah, I see like you stretching something out, almost like, it makes me think of like sage, you know, and like smoke and clearing energies. And I think of like a shaman or something with this. But art is blending different things that don't make sense and putting it in a place of beautiful. Perhaps it makes sense or perhaps it doesn't make sense for you and for others to interpret however they interpret that, however they connect to that. So you're sending a connection out there. You are blending all of the things that you've gone through. And I actually see art now, like a museum. So even beyond paintings, I see somebody walking around like a big museum, like taking their time, enjoying their alone time, maybe even meeting somebody or going on a date. But I feel like you're there to absorb, to understand, to maybe sketch something out, maybe be inspired. I see sculptures and like embroidery and like just, I want to say like ancient things, but then I see modern things. So there's a connection with history or something coming up to the surface, or something that you see that's either in the future that you're bringing into the now, or the ancient past that you're bringing into the now, but it's all about being in the now. I feel like there is some kind of independence or opportunity for this space, this timing, this patience, this growth, this change of seasons, this, I feel like it's timing, like a stretch of time that you've come through to get here. And perhaps there was impatience before or something like that, but I feel like there's an opportunity to get yourself, as I get yourself good, or like figure something out deep in you, like that central point in you. I'm looking at my polka dots on this funny shirt I'm wearing backwards because I have a weird glue gun stain on the other side. So like maybe there's crafts, maybe you're putting something together, like maybe a glue gun, something was really hot, maybe there's a medium temperature, you know, and something like something was getting burned before or not hot enough. That makes me think of metal, like metal and metalworking and getting the flow of the flux just right, like just right. Or you melt your gold or your silver, whatever you're working with. You could have this beautiful piece, and you know, I'll show you like something I made. You could have this beautiful piece and be doing the bale up here and trying to put these wires together and put just a little too much heat and that sucker just balls up, you know, or, you know, there's a hole and now you have to, you know, either you really learn because you spent time on something and now you messed up. So the next time you do it, you're not going to mess up. You're going to have your timing right because you're going to be like hypersensitive, hyper aware of the big energies or the tiny energies coming through. So you know how to adapt. So it's learning with patience and having patience with what didn't work in the past, so that you can have solutions. So, you know, if you also do something and you always do a perfect job and you never have a mess up, you know, maybe you're on like a schedule or something and then you have a mess up and you don't know how to fix it now and now you're stuck. So there's like a beautiful space for messing up and having time on your own to gain skill or knowledge or sketch something out or, you know, put something together a different way than you did before. Like, yeah, I see somebody like making something like with a hot glue gun and putting something on, and then when the element, like maybe putting something outside, like a wreath or something like that, and perhaps in the past, this is silly, like maybe you did it wrong and elements of nature like snow or wind or something like that came through and it didn't hold together. So you can do it different this time so it holds together better. But you have to experience how it fell apart to know what to do different now. So I always feel like there's blessings with temperance too. There's signs and like divine guidance for you. Like I hear politely showing you the way, like, you know, like I'm seeing like somebody very polite and fancy for some reason. So temperance is also 14, which brings you to a 5. So it brings you something that offers change, offers a change. I hear like a happy change, like a well-received change. Maybe you've been waiting for this change to come through. Just still have patience, and I want to say like get excited in what you have right around you now, whether it's alone time or being involved with others and handling a lot of energies at once and gaining, you know, like, you know, quick solutions. And like, I see like a teacher or somebody with a lot of like children or, you know, something like that, or like putting a production together or something where there's like, you know, behind the scenes stuff happening and people taking pictures, maybe like a wedding or something, you know, and it's coordinating a lot of energy together, or it's just finding that balance inside of you and being patient for things to come into your world. I feel like you're working things out and getting things together so good things come through later. So it's like offering you time to do that. So make good use of that time. Make this time valuable today for whatever is going to come through later. It's like preparation time, but like art, you know, use what you had in the past and use the time you have now, do what you can so that later when you meet the right client or person to offer your art or your thing, your, you know, thing that you're excited about, that you put your time into, could be a job, a relationship, you know, whatever it is, but you're preparing that space. You're getting your portfolio ready. You're, you know, getting yourself together and like spiffy and spruced up. So whatever's coming in is coming in with the right frequency of energy, like magnetic attraction. I hope that makes sense. That was a long sidetrack on that card. So let's go to the romance angels oracle cards for 14 temperance on Monday, the 21st November. Let's get clarity on romance, communication, matters of the heart, love. One card. Well, that's magnetic attraction. So this is taking care of you and smelling the roses, getting yourself beautiful, understanding how beautiful you are, how strong you are, how you've learned to balance things out, coming through what you did and balance out your situation now. I always hear weird things like badass, you know, like, you know, you got your shit together, but it's taking that moment to love living, you know, to absorb the essence of the now, to spend time with what you love doing. Perhaps, you know, getting yourself away or getting some alone time or spending time with somebody you care about, but it's just being attractive by being you, not really trying, not trying at all, actually. It's releasing completely into the moment, you know, into the moment you have. And it's somebody just, you know, seeing you, I hear stumble. So it's even like you know, almost like accidentally stumbling into somebody and like being a klutz, but that's cute for somebody. It's like beauty in the, I can't hear scars, like beauty in the scars, beauty in the like birthmarks, beauty in the spaces, like in your teeth, beauty in what's not perfect. Like, and remembering how we're all not perfect, and there's somebody out there who's gonna find like maybe the awkward parts of you gorgeous, like gorgeous, you know, and you're gonna find the same about, I keep knocking over my ginger ale. You're gonna find the same about someone else or that situation, or, you know, even the things that, you know, when you get lost, that's gonna be the best time you have, not the vacation. It'll be when you got off the track a little bit and you found something new, you explored something different, you met a new friend, you know, you met the romance of a lifetime, you met that person that led you on the trail to that opportunity, to that thing you never knew you wanted to do. It's, you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully, today, now, you know, this moment. Do something you love, make something, you know, write a song, sing a song, call a friend, dance around, go on a drive, you know, do something you love to do. What is that for you? What have you not done in a while that you have a hankering to do? You know, that you, or like when you're out and you're doing your thing, if you get something that sidetracks you, or you see something and you, or you think of somebody, call them. Or somebody approaches you, perhaps talk to them, see what happens, you know, just go with the flow here, see where it takes you, you know, express yourself. It makes me think of the 9 of Pentacles a little bit, you know, like having that independent attraction with being good with who you are, loving who you are. And that's what brings in that beautiful magnetic attraction in. That's not something like latching on or needing, or it's just freedom. It's a freedom in attraction, because you're attracting relationships back to you that also offer freedom to you, freedom to be yourself. Yeah, like healthy, you know, it's being healthy here with yourself and with others. I feel like an opportunity to have something healthy reflected back in your world. Maybe there's somebody who recognizes all those beautiful things about you, but it starts with you recognizing all those beautiful things about you, you know, getting yourself ready for what's coming in, remembering how awesome you are, how beautiful you are. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully, whether it's goofy, you know, sexy, awkward, deep, emotional, vulnerable, strong, creative, whatever it is for you that you're like connected to. Start by you connecting to that own magnetic attraction, beautiful living force of nature energy in you that gets you running and moving and circulating, and see where it brings you, and then see what it attracts to you, and open your arms to that. You know, try not to shut things away for yourself or for what's coming in, you know, and allow that freedom for others too. All right, let's move along. I'm going to go to the Fairy Tarot and get a card for Monday, 21st of November, 2016. Clarity on 14, Temperance, and Attraction. I hear sexy time. So like, you know, what makes you feel sexy? What makes you feel good? Start there. You know, it's confidence. It's confidence more than anything else. So start with that confidence in yourself and see what happens. And here, just see what happens and let it go. Don't worry. Just don't put any attachment to anything other than what makes you happy. All right, let's start with one card from the Fairy. Clarity on Temperance and Attraction. And that is the Emperor. So that's ultimate control. So this is beautiful if it's bringing you back into control by releasing something. you know, getting something hard that was hard for you in the past under control now. It's actually finding that timing, finding that you point, finding stability, focus, you know, making plans, seeing the details. He's the big papa, the big like green man, the big earth energy in like masculine form in the tarot. So, the Emperor could be somebody around you, but I feel like it's general wisdom for us to find our own focus, you know, be that solid ground, deep roots. I hear seasons. So maybe you're growing up or there was change with what you learned through seasons. He has the world on his scepter and like his heart is glowing. It's like energy. I feel like he's in a church where there's like, yeah, I hear like, I almost want to say like acoustics, vibration, even stained glass, like filters, something you built, but there's only golden light here and red and blue if you consider the earth, blue and green. So maybe all of the spectrum or your own spectrum of light, your own spectrum, your own perspective. This could be somebody else as well, like a boss. It could be somebody very, very stubborn. Sometimes the Emperor is like his way or the highway, her way or no way. So it could be breaking free from that and getting that own, you know, like, you know, getting that back for yourself. So it's your way now. You could learn something from this Emperor. Don't be too stubborn in a situation and not be open to new things coming in. You have to always be building new things. You know, don't get stuck in that kingdom and not go outside and see that things are changing. Come back in and change accordingly, adapt accordingly. Growth. You know, he's a good Emperor. She is, because of what you learn and then what you put your hands into and what you connect to and reach out to and what you actually build. I hear secure, what you get grounded, what you secure down, get going, do it right from the beginning. Use logic and structure to increase your success. Get organized and a firm but compassionate leader. So somebody who, I feel like usually the Emperor is pretty good. He could be very stubborn, but it's usually because he knows his shit. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to do it right. He knows how to get things moving. He could be the dictator, but he sees the bigger picture. So he knows it'll work. And if it doesn't work, he'll redirect that situation accordingly so it works the next time. So it could be a masculine, you know, dominant male influence in our life today, or it's asking you to, you know, put your balls on and get things moving and do it right now. So let's move along to the fairy. The Power Archangel Tarot. Let's get clarity on the Emperor. And maybe the Emperor was learning to gain balance, learning to feel things out so he understands what's good for everybody. You know, it's not supposed to be just about him. You know, the best leaders have also done a lot of work, have also learned what it's like to follow. And I want to say, like, I see, like, going in disguise out in your kingdom if you have to see what it's like out there. So you do what you have to do to understand every side of the situation so you do have focus. So you keep an open mind and keep the box open so you can always build on your structure. Or renovate things properly, you know, if you're rebuilding. I want to say opposite of history, you know, like it's funny, the farther, I'm thinking like South America walls and structures, like, you know, the older parts are like, you know, it'll look like puzzle pieces of rock beautifully put together without any space, or like mortar. And it's like, you can't even wrap your head about how they actually did that. And then the newer structures that are built on top of the older ones are not as sound, you know, they're not as good. And it's like backwards. So I feel like you have to be the one to reverse that situation. And if something was built sound and awesome before, open that box and get better this time instead of like letting it, like I see like something wash away, like rain washing something away, maybe slowly. You know, do it, get better, offer, yeah, I want to say just reverse history somehow and go back to what worked better and do it now in the future. So I'm getting like back to the future or something right now. All right, let's continue with the Emperor, attraction, and temperance. So you have 14 and 4. And that's the Queen of Ariel. So possibly an earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. Also the Emperor, sometimes I think of an Aries, maybe a Leo, maybe a Taurus too. But this is a feminine energy. She's helpful, mature. I would say like maybe like a couple here, or like that sound, mature, beautiful, loving structure behind the Emperor, maybe a wife and a husband, or possibly future, or just that merging of feminine and masculine within you. Or like an awesome earth sign in your world today with some good advice to get some beauty with your surroundings, with what's around you, to help you get your stuff together with nothing. Like you don't need a lot of money to build something sound, structurally sound, beautiful. I hear independent. So, I also hear food. I don't know what that means. Maybe cooking or, you know, home, you know, your home, your surroundings, nutrition, something like that. Somebody mature, practical, generous, happy, nurture yourself and those you love, the ability to make anything more beautiful, and it's practical and wise advice. Like no beating around the bush, just it works. I think of like the hiccup cure for some reason, like taking an orange or lemon wedge and sugar and bitters and, you know, sucking on it until the hiccups go away. Like just works. Don't know why, it just does. Like just simple things that work. So, you know, be logical here, and maybe it's just a simple solution to get yourself grounded. Maybe advice from her, or you have advice for him, something like that. All right, let's pull one more card from the Oracles of Visions by Sierra Machete, also new. Get a clarity card to sum up the reading for the Queen of Ariel, the Queen of Pentacles. The Emperor for attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Maybe the Emperor was too structured before and he needs to loosen up a little bit. Or maybe, you know, she needs to gain a little structure by putting something, you know, like maybe there's chaos around her, and put some order out of that chaos, you know, like clean up the mess, because there's beautiful solutions in that mess. Like there's beauty in the mess somewhere. So like, I don't know, I feel like opposite energy, like opposite energies helping each other. Like somebody has what you don't have, and that helps you out, and you learn from each other how to balance. So maybe there's somebody you're learning from today, or you're finding that balance within yourself. Let's get one card to sum this reading up. Well, that's 19. So that's like releasing, learning how to release, finding, I want to say bathing in the sunlight, getting lost in meditation or art, that opportunity, knowledge, wisdom, clarity, focus, like as a man thinketh, so is he kind of thing. Like whatever you're thinking about becomes a part in your world, like synchronicity. So focus on, let's say, the beautiful, happy things you want and the solutions, and maybe a release. I hear release. You know, you have something on a string. So I see strings, but you're like loose and vulnerable and almost like turning away from something. So maybe you were thinking about an opportunity before, if it's for you, if it's right for you, if you're going to do it again, you know, how would you change this now? The 19 makes me think of the sun. So it makes me think of being vulnerable, your beautiful, like childhood self, like that becoming the you that you were supposed to be, and just, you were there the whole time, but putting that voice of recognition on it. Getting lost and thinking too much, waiting for something too long. I feel like you need to feel something out here. So let's go to the book. Number 19 is Contemplation, Analysis, and Awareness. Man, is he... Oh, this is the one I had. I had this in one of the readings coming up, and I don't know. I think that we should give more credit before I go so I don't get sidetracked on reading this. I feel like we should give more credit, or we should have more knowledge about the actual communication of animals before we assume they're not as smart as us, or they don't do it a different way that we don't understand. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now and continue. Man is the only animal for whom his own existence is a problem for which he has to solve. ERICH FROMM. While we share common traits with all other living entities and are indeed linked to them in so many ways, our humanity is probably best defined by our awareness of ourselves. We alone can look up at the sky and contemplate our role in the universe. We alone have the freedom of choice and the capability of rational thought beyond survival and procreation. We alone... See why it sounds like a soapbox to me? All right, continue. Can question relative values and choose right from wrong. Our consciousness is both a blessing and a burden. It provides us with the ability to ponder and question. More than any other living entities, we have the capacity to consider variables and options for the future, and to be either encouraged or concerned about the possibilities. So it's finding that encouragement, that wisdom to move along, to grow another ring of strength on your tree, to get grounded, to deep your roots and stretch your leaves and hold, or like stretch your branches and hold more leaves. I'm seeing a tree. And like, when I think of animals with this, I thought of dolphins first, and it made me think of The Dolphins Cry by Live. That's what I thought of. I was hearing the song when I read this. So I'll put that below. So it's, you know, finding, I want to say opportunity within that time to think, you know, find that chance to find your balance, what's good for you, you know, to make it make sense to you. And I hear like being involved in the divine timing process and like becoming more consciousness of your connection to it inside and out. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I also want to mention 19 brings us to a 10. So that is ending something, completing something, and beginning something new, but different, with a new ring of strength this time around. I hope this is helpful for you guys. I love you so much.